Hi, my name is Myneko Broadhurst, and I will be the fifth grade English and Language Arts tutor for the 2021-2022 program year at eXtend Homeschool. I want to take a moment to explain to you about this class or to give you a better idea of what you're walking into if you decide you would like to register for fifth grade English and Language Arts. I'm going to show you the curriculum, I'm going to show you the books, and hopefully I will answer a number of your questions. So the first thing is I want to give you an idea of what this class is. So this class really focuses on grammar skills and writing skills for that beginning writer. So you may be coming from fourth grade where you didn't do a lot of writing, but that's okay because we're going to ease into it. We're not just jumping into the deep end of the pool. We're going to start on the shallow end and we're going to work our way there. So what we'll be doing is focusing a lot on for writing, we'll be focusing on the four genres, major genres of writing, which would be expository, persuasive, descriptive, and narrative. So throughout the course of the school year, not only will we begin with essay structure and what an essay looks like and a successful essay looks like and everything that it entails, but then we'll start learning how to write a persuasive paper, how to write an expository paper, how to write a descriptive paper. And we gradually just sort of kind of move throughout the school year being able to do that. And we practice that weekly through writing assignments that I will be giving the kids through the week. I'm also going to be introducing lost tools of writing skills, and I'm also going to introduce IEW skills. So if your children are familiar with that, like for instance, banned verbs and adjectives or dress ups and openers, I will be reviewing and introducing those. And I actually, like I said, introducing for those that aren't familiar with them. This fifth grade year is going to be that real intro to beginning writer. So please don't stress if your child has a hard time writing. We're all going to be walking into it together. We really will be focusing on 1 and 3 paragraphs for the school year. So it's not enough. It's not too much. Your child will be fine. Like I said, we're just going to slowly walk our way into the deep end of the pool. The class also focuses on grammar. And so I'm going to show you the books that we're using for grammar this year. Grammar concepts that will be introduced are basically we'll be using Shirley Grammar, which introduces grammar concepts through the use of asking questions of sentences. So if we have a sentence, we ask different questions to find out all the different parts of speech. Every word in a sentence is covered underneath one particular part of speech. There are 8 parts of speech. So what we do is the goal is for every child to be able to identify every word that's in a sentence and be able to tell you what that sentence is. And that also works into sentence structure, which is something that I focus on, so that they know what goes in front of what in a sentence. It's like a big puzzle, which is what I always tell the kids, that I love grammar because it's like putting a puzzle together. And hopefully they will see that too. Students will also be assigned 5 literature books that I'm going to introduce to you throughout the school year. But first, let me show you the grammar book that the kids will be using. And I highly recommend, like I said, I love Shirley Grammar. So the kids for the class will need the Shirley English Homeschool Student Level 6 Student Workbook. This is the purple set. And they will also need the practice booklet. So you see the practice booklet and the workbook. They're pretty slender, but these are the 2 books that they will need for the school year. And then I highly recommend that you purchase as the adult the the level 6 teacher's manual. So yes, we are using level 6. This is not incorrect. Level 6 is what we are using. Our ultimate goal is for the kids to be finished with Shirley Grammar by 6th grade. So therefore we skipped level 7. We skipped level 5. This is important for you all to know because many of you will be coming from 4th grade and your assumption is that you need to purchase the level 5. You do not. You will need the level 6 purple set for 5th grade. Like I said, we just skipped level 5. It doesn't really introduce anything new. It doesn't really help with anything. So we can go straight to level 6 and level 6 picks up exactly where we need it to pick up. So that is the curriculum that you need for the school year. Like I mentioned, I will talk a little bit more about the teacher manual a little later, but you will need this teacher manual because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, your students will be working with me, but on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays as the parent teacher, because you are the teacher, you will need to work with them on English, on grammar skills. And I will provide you with that work, but you do need to have this. It's good for you to have this teacher manual so you'll be able to back yourself up and be able to answer any questions that your child has. Now, this is what's really important about this class, especially if you're coming from 4th grade English and language arts. We focus on grammar on Tuesdays only, and then we focus on writing on Thursdays. So we do an entire class of grammar on Tuesdays, and then we do an entire class of writing on Thursdays. We do not do spelling work in 5th grade, and we do not do vocabulary work, though the book itself does have a vocabulary list in it. You can feel free to use that vocabulary list, or even, and then I can provide you with a spelling list for 5th grade if you would like to still focus on spelling. But in our class, we're doing so much, we don't have time to focus on spelling in the time that I am allotted. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that, so you would prepare yourself if you feel like your child still needs a little bit of spelling practice. So please know we don't do it in class, but you can, that's work that you would work on with your child on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays when they are with you and not meeting with me. So that is the grammar curriculum. For the writing, I will be providing your students with everything that they need in order to write throughout the course of the school year. Like I mentioned, I will be focusing or introducing lost tools of writing concepts, and I will introduce IEW concepts to your students. So there's nothing in particular that you need to purchase. I will make sure that you have any paperwork or worksheets that you need for writing. What I do want to talk about and show to you next would be the literature books. So the students will be reading 4 to 5 literature books on their own. We do not read literature books in class, but I will assign them literature books and pages. And they will know weekly how many pages they're supposed to read. And as long as they're following the schedule, they'll be fine. If you have a voracious reader and you're looking for other books, I will recommend other books that you may possibly want to have your children reading. For those of you who have a struggling reader, I provide you with a weekly schedule of chapters that they should get through during that week. So that really helps a lot of those students who don't really love to read, but we know how important it is. So as long as they follow that schedule, they'll be fine. Okay, so here are the 5 books that I will need you to purchase for this school year, for the fall. The first would be Sing Down the Moon by Scott Odell. This is one of the books that the 5th graders will be reading for the school year. Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. Sounder by William Armstrong. Toothpaste Millionaire, and this is by, I thought I had the, oh, I'm sorry. Toothpaste Millionaire by Jean Merrill, which is a really great book, and Finding Langston, which is also a wonderful book by Lisa Klein Ransom. So those are the 5 books that you will need to purchase for class for the school year. I will be I will be issuing end of quarter assignments based off the books that the students are reading during the school year. So as the school year progresses, I will explain what those end of quarter assignments are, but they are related to our literature books. The next thing I want to discuss is my materials fee. So my materials fee for this school year will be $5 if we are virtual and $25 if we are face-to-face. $5 because you have to have a printer, you have to have the paper, you have to have the ink. And so therefore, there's no reason for me to be charging for anything when I don't have to print or I don't have to do anything for you. But the $5 does cover subscriptions that I use to pull worksheets for the kids to use in class. Or any subscription that I use, like for instance, sometimes when we're virtual, I use Nearpod, which is wonderful. So that is where that $5 goes. For in class, I'll be providing the kids with materials. I will actually be giving them the materials as opposed to you having to print out some of them. Some you may still have to print out, but many of them I will give to them. So the $25 covers that cost plus any subscriptions that I have to cover for the school year. There are some schoolwork expectations and parent-teacher expectations that I do want to go over for the class. The first is, as far as schoolwork is concerned, please understand that your students will be writing weekly. If you are a person that doesn't want your students to write weekly, and I understand, that's fine, but that's what we will be doing in this class. So please understand your students will be writing weekly, if not bi-weekly on some occasions, depending on what it is that I am introducing to them. The next thing is that we do grammar tests. And I mentioned before to you about having the teacher manual. I will issue grammar tests after introducing a grammar skill to your students. And you will be responsible for grading the test. Like, you will give the test, you will grade the test, and you will just send the grade to me. I will provide you with the answer key. I will provide you with the answers if you do not have the student manual. So you will get the answer and the answer key and the point value for the test. And so you have your student take the test on the day it's designated, and then you just send me the grade. The last thing I mentioned earlier were the end of quarter projects. That is the last schoolwork expectation that I have, that at the end of, because we do so much writing. I don't do a lot of different little projects and little, things here and there. I kind of just stick to a couple of different things because the students write so much. And I'm really a strong advocate for consistency. And so that's the reason why the kids write every week. By the end of the school year, they have about 20 and 25 papers, essays that they have written in my class. So for that reason, I don't pound them with a whole bunch of other work, busy work, because we do a lot of writing. But like I mentioned, we do an end of the quarter project. And so I will expect, that will be an expectation of them for schoolwork to complete the end of quarter project based on the literature books that I have showed you in this video. The next thing is the parent-teacher expectation. So you understand that you are the teacher and I am your assistant as the tutor. I introduce concepts and then you reinforce those concepts at home on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If I'm moving too slow, then you can speed it up. If I'm moving too fast, then you can slow it down. That's the beauty of homeschool. So, but for the parent-teacher expectations, there are 3 that I want to make sure that you understand before you come into my class, which is that first, no one writes alone. And I tell this to my kids over and over and over again. Even as a published author, you might sit in a room and write chapters by yourself, but you still have to go through an editor, a publisher, a publicist, a number of people. So you're never really alone as a writer. And so since we are building beginning writers, what we want to do is we want to support those writers as they are writing their essays. So when they do their work or when they complete their essays, you as the parent teacher are officially their editor. So even though this can be a very independent class, what I do ask for the parent teachers are to be the editors and come behind your student and work with them on grammar and punctuation. And how their sentences flow and what it sounds like. And though I will be on my end working, I need you on your end working, and we come together, and then the kids really can pick up the concepts faster when I know that you're on your end editing. So you are responsible for editing your students' papers. The second responsibility is that I have introduced to you the literature books. As the parent teacher, please take a moment to go through every one of these books, vet these books, make sure these books are appropriate for your family. I pick the books based on diversity. I pick them based on theme, on topics, because I really want to introduce the students to so many different types of authors, African-American authors, Indian authors, all different types of authors. And so for that reason, I need you to go through all of these books and make sure that the books are appropriate for your family. Every family is different, and there may be things that you do not want to introduce to your student, which is just fine, but please make sure that you look at these books. This will keep you from having to send me an email that says, oh, I saw this in the book, and are you aware? I'm very aware. The question really is, are you aware? And so I need you to be aware of these books before you sign up for my class. It's like I said, it's very, very important that you vet them to make sure. And what I've told parents in the past is that you find something in the book while your child is reading that you weren't ready for, you may want to think of it as a chance to talk through what it is that they are reading. These are really great books. I really don't think you're going to find anything, but just in case, because like I said, every family is different. You can also consider it as a way to open up the door to have conversations with your kids about different things that we experienced every day. The last thing for parent-teacher expectations I mentioned before is grading. So as a parent-teacher, please understand and accept if you come into the class, you understand that you are grading grammar tests So I just want to make sure that's parent-teacher expectations coming in. I never want anyone to go, well, I didn't know that. And had I known, I would have never signed up for her class. I'm explaining everything to you so that you know exactly what it is that you're walking into. I have two recommendations if you are looking to have a successful school year for this class. The first is to make sure you talk to some other parents that are currently in my 5th grade class. Talk to them, ask them about my organization, ask them about my communication, how I talk to the kids, how I respond, you know, am I clear? You know, find out the good, the bad, and the ugly about this class, because the more you know and the more you are informed, the better decision that you are able to make on whether this class works for you and your child. So that would be the main thing. If you're not sure who's currently in the class and you want to talk to somebody, I have a number of people. They will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the class. The second recommendation that I have is that eXtend may offer some summer prep grammar classes. If your child has never taken Shirley Grammar before and you would like to enroll them in, by all means, feel free to do so. I will say this, if you do not have the means or you're not able to, like let's say scheduling conflict, or for whatever reason you can't put your child in the class, that is just fine, because the way Shirley Grammar is set up, I have to start from the beginning no matter what. So I have to start at pattern 1. So if they don't get it in like a week session, I have to do it anyway throughout the school year. So hopefully that will help you determine whether you want to sign up for the prep class or not, because no matter what, I have to start from the beginning anyway. The last thing I wanted to mention to you is my mode of communication. So as I mentioned before, I am using Google Classroom, no matter whether we're virtual or we are face-to-face. Google Classroom is a wonderful way to keep me organized, to keep your students organized, for them to submit paperwork and I can get it back and you can see immediately what their grades are, or you can keep track of those grades and missing work. A lot of my communication is through Google Classroom, but I do also email parents. But Google Classroom, the nice thing about Google Classroom is that I do not have to inundate you with emails. I can post all of the assignment sheets there. For those of you that may be new to eXtend, we do assignment sheets, which is a sheet that has all the work for that week, what you can expect to be done. And my Google Classroom matches my assignment sheets to the best of my ability. I will tell you, I'll change something and like, you know, the Google Classroom can hold my assignment sheets. You can just download things. That's why I love Google Classroom. But like I said, I do email parents, and then I am a texter. I'm not sure if you're a texter. I find busy homeschool moms are great texters. And I am a text person. So if you want to reach me, please feel free. You can text me at any time during the school year, and I will just respond when I am able to respond. It's not a big deal. I will, however, tell you that I am quick to respond to a student. So I'm really big on students advocating for themselves. If you have a question, if you're not sure about something, something doesn't sound right, please encourage your students, if they're in my class, to shoot me an email, ask me any question. It's really good for the kids to learn how to advocate for themselves and not always have mom and dad running behind and making sure that they understand or they don't understand. So I actually will answer an email faster if a student emails me than I will with a parent. I will get back to the parent. I'm not saying I won't, but I stop everything I'm doing for my kids. And so therefore, and I really want them to get comfortable contacting me if they have any questions. Okay, so I introduced all the books, introduced myself, introduced the class. I hope I was informative. I hope I didn't take too much of your time, but I hope I answered a lot of questions that you have. If you still have questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email. That's funny. Send me an email to mbroadhurst@extendhomeschool.com. And I'm more than happy to answer anything that I may have missed in this video. Okay, like I said, hope I was informative. Hope you got a lot out of this video. Please watch other videos from your other parents. I'm really excited. I love grammar and comp. I hope your children learn to love it as much as Mrs. Broadhurst loves it. And you'll hear me refer to myself in the third person a lot during the school year. So anyway, like I said, I'm done now. Just reach out to me if you have any questions. Feel free. I'm always here when anyone needs me. And I think that's it. So have a wonderful day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And like I said, hopefully we'll all be together again and looking forward to school. Okay. All right. Bye.